welcome to Best Life Abroad, not your average travel podcast. I am Dr. Raquel. I am your guide to living, working, and thriving abroad. So if you're planning your first big move or you are a seasoned expat, this is the place for you. Okay, so today we are going to dive into a very interesting topic that just might change the way you think about how you travel and also just how you fit in the world. So we are talking about the passport index. Yes, 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 there is an actual ranking system for passports, and not all passports are created equal. But do not worry, we are going to break it all down for you today. Okay? So, first, let's go ahead and start with the basics. What is this passport index? So, it is a global ranking system for passports. So, based on the travel freedom that you get as the passport holder, this passport index measures how many countries you can enter without a visa or that you can get a visa upon arrival in that country. So the more countries that your passport opens the doors to, the higher it is in rank. Okay. Now, here is the thing that I want y'all to understand. The US passport is not even in the top five. Okay. Yes, the US passport is not in the top five. So I keep having conversations with people and they're like, yeah, so I don't think it will be that difficult for me to get a visa. And there is this assumption that the US passport is one of the strongest in the world. And it's not terrible, but it is not as strong as I think many people think that it is. Okay. So in 2024, passports from country like, well, even the start of 2025, passports from UAE, United Arab Emirates, Spain, and France, they took the lead, child, and many other European countries. So these passports give access to more countries and they have fewer restrictions. So the US passport is slipping on down the ranks. Again, it is strong, but it is not the ultimate golden ticket that I think many people think it is. Okay. So let's go on and get into it. Okay. So I'm going to run down some of the top passports starting 2025. Okay. So as I mentioned, UAE, United Arab Emirates, they are number one. So you can have access to 179 countries. You do not need a visa, or you can get a visa when you get there. Okay. Spain, France, Germany, Finland, Italy, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg. So Spain is number two because you get access to 178. But France, Germany, Finland, Italy, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Denmark, and Portugal, Switzerland, Austria, Norway, Greece, Ireland, they are all tied for number three. Okay, so we have not yet mentioned the United States. Okay, now these rankings, they do fluctuate over time based on things like diplomatic relationships, visa agreements, global policies. But you really need to understand how your country's standing in the world really does impact the freedom of movement for the citizens of that country. Okay, so why does this matter? You might be thinking, girl, I don't care anything about that, but you should. And you really should care about where your passport ranks. Okay, so let me break it down. First, the passport index is about more than just convenience. Okay, it's really about access and privilege. So people with higher ranking passports can move freely between countries. This opens up opportunities for work, education, or just going to visit different places. So I remember when I was studying abroad in Spain, I had a friend who was studying in the UK. And with her passport, she was not able to come visit me. Like we had always planned she would come visit me in Spain. And she wasn't able to come visit me in Spain. I had to go visit her in England because based on her passport, they would not let her into Spain without a visa. Okay, so at the last minute, we just had to switch those plans, which we were able to do, thankfully. But yeah, she was not able to come see me because of her passport. So, people with lower ranking passports, they can face more bureaucracy, they can have longer wait times for visas, and you can get charged more based on the ranking of your passport. So, this also impacts your coins. If you want to have like a spontaneous trip somewhere, that also is impacted by your passport. Okay, so you might have to wait weeks, months to get a visa before you can go, or you might have to pay for extra documentation or additional fees for a visa based on your passport. Okay, so understanding where your passport stands, it really just isn't about travel, but it's really about seeing how you fit in the global puzzle. Okay. And even a reminder, it's a reminder that everyone does not have the same level of freedom. And that really is an eye-opening realization. Like once I realized that, I was like, dang, I did not realize like the power and the access to things that I have just because of my passport. Okay. So another thing to mention is the strength of your passport is not only about diplomatic agreements, because I think sometimes it's like, oh, but we do X, Y, and Z, so we should be good. But it really is also about how the world views your country and its leaders. Okay. So, for example, when a country has strong and stable leadership, and is building trust across the world, those things then translate into partnerships and agreements and different access to different borders and different countries. But when countries are seen as either politically unstable, they are not economically strong, then this really changes how people view your passport as well. Okay. So UAE is really a great example of this. It has a reputation that is amazing. It is seen as a forward-thinking nation on a world stage, and it's number one. And we assume that people from UAE or living in UAE have some coins. So it is number one. Okay. So thinking about this even further, it really is important to tie the idea of the passport index to being a global citizen. So, what does that mean and why does it even matter? I think it's really about like recognizing the interconnectedness of the world. And when you are aware of your passport's power or limitations, you really start to see the privilege that some people have or obstacles that other people face. So whenever I see these things that are like, if you are a US passport holder, you are now going to need a visa to get into this place. I'm like, oh, man, I'm feeling that because I plan on being there in this at this time, but now I have to see like what does that mean? Do I need to do something now? What do I have to pay for that? Okay. And that awareness really helps shape how we move through the world. Once I realized, even from my time living in Germany and the experiences I had where it was like looking at me, people did not know what passport that I had. But once they saw my passport, it was like all the doors just, all the barriers and gates just magically fell to the floor once they saw my passport. And so, I think it's really powerful. Your passport is really powerful, and it's important for us to really understand that and then also have empathy with other people because we are not in the top five. There are many countries that are in the top five. And so like I mentioned, many countries in Europe, they are tied for number three with access to 177 countries without a visa. So that's more than just Europe. So it's really important for us to understand the power of our passport and how we are really just all interconnected in the world and how easily that power can shift and change based on the leaders of our countries. So here's the takeaway, people. Your passport is more than just a book of stamps. I know we all go to that country and we're like, please get this stamp so I can go back and remember that I was in this place and show everybody, look at this stamp I have in my passport. I also do that. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with that. But it's important to know that it is more than just that. It is a symbol of access, privilege, opportunity. Okay, so understanding where your passport stands, it better prepares you for your travel, but again, it helps you understand the broader global context and how you fit into that, which again is all about global citizenship, which is so, so, so very important. So if you want to know more about the Passport Index and how it can shape what you're trying to do, your move abroad, your travels abroad, I have written a blog post that goes even deeper into this, and it's called "Not All Passports Are Created Equal. Where Does Yours Rank?" And you can find it on my website, www.yourbestlifeabroad.com. And I recommend that you check it out if you're interested in learning more. So I also would love to hear from y'all, like where you're dreaming of traveling or moving to next. And so if there are challenges or wins, share some wins that you have experienced because of your passport. I would love to hear these stories. So you can hit me up on IG at Your Best Life Abroad. Yeah, and thank you all so much for being here with me. So I really enjoy talking about this because I think it's something that not all people know. Um, but it is really, really important. So, we really need to be aware of this and see what's happening on the global stage moving forward. And if we continue to drop, or if maybe we start to get a little bit more ahead in the strength of our US passports. So time will tell. If you've enjoyed this episode, please go ahead, share it with your friends, subscribe, leave a review. And if you're interested in moving abroad and you need some help taking the leap, please know I am here to support you on your personal journey. I love helping people map out their move abroad. It is one of the joys that I have of life. So you can head on over to my website if you need some help. Again, www.yourbestlifeabroad.com for information on how to turn that dream of moving abroad into a reality. So, thank you again for joining today. And please remember, there is no time like right this second to live your best life abroad if that is what you would like to do. Let's not procrastinate in 2025. Let's get this thing done, okay? So, so great talking to y'all today. And until next week, bye.